Welcome back, everybody, to the Nosebleed Sports Podcast. I'm Chris Witt, and with me, as always, is Mr. Adam Schmidt. Adam, how are you today, sir?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Just peachy.
Good.
Just peachy.
See, here's the thing. I hate peaches.
Me too. Seriously.
I mean,
They're
we got to
disgusting.
come up with something else.
Yeah, maybe that's how I'm feeling.
Oh, okay.
Maybe just peachy for me is no good.
I'm very sorry. Very sorry.
No. No.
That's the other thing, too. People go nuts for like once a year, or it seemed like every 2 months. UDF does the peach ice cream, and people go nuts for that. I'm like, peach ice cream?
Dude, I'm with you. So my wife apparently loves peaches.
Okay.
But they got
a lot
this,
of people do.
They got this truck that comes from Georgia, and like you line up to get a bag of peaches. Okay, so this truck comes in and it's got a website and it tells you where he's going to be. And he comes to Cincinnati area like maybe twice, like in 2 different spots. I mean, they've got multiple trucks, I assume, right? Because they go all over the place.
Okay.
But it's straight from Georgia. They're, freshly picked peaches. And people go nuts over them. Line a mile long. Stand in line to get your bag of peaches. Okay. She's going to do it. Froze a bunch of them because we're not eating. I think she had 2 bags of peaches. I don't eat peaches. Nobody eats peaches. My kids don't eat peaches. They don't know what good peaches are. I don't know what good peaches are.
How many peaches in a bag?
I don't know. 25.
Whoa.
Maybe not 25, maybe 15, but it was enough. It was like a sack of potatoes.
Huh.
Yeah.
Sack of peaches.
Or maybe they came in a crate. I think it was a sack. Either way, I didn't eat any of them. Most of them were in the freezer for almost the entire year. Because when something goes into my freezer, that bad boy goes to that's where
she stays, huh?
That's where most things go to die.
Okay.
I've pulled stuff out of the freezer, back of the freezer, and I didn't know what it was anymore because it was just covered in freezer burn and frost.
Yeah.
No idea what was in it.
Wow.
The only thing in your freezer is ice cream.
I see everything in my freezer. Yeah, I've got like 6 things in my freezer.
Yeah,
I see them all. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. All right.
How about that?
Good peach story.
So there's the peaches. All right. So today, not sure how today's podcast is going to go. I'm actually kind of excited about it.
Me too.
Because there's not a lot that we have going on, right? We're in the very beginning of the NBA season. The Golden State Warriors suck. The Nets suck. We talked about how they fired Steve Nash last week. I was ready for it. Major League Baseball is over. The Bengals are on a bye. We didn't get a hold of Andre Edwards in time, so he's not on. Maybe we get him next week. We'll see how that goes. So what all do we have? What's coming out? We've got Major League Baseball. The World Series is officially over. We're going to talk about the congratulatoriness to the Houston Astros and the party man, Dusty Baker. Did we talk about that at all last week?
No, I don't think it ended.
It wasn't over yet?
In time.
Okay. All right. So, we'll do the Dusty Baker, talk about a little Astros, maybe kind of talk about who we think is going to win some of these Cy Young awards and all the other things.
Yep.
And then, Mount Rushmore streaming platforms and Ari Shaffir. So anything could happen.
Anything
in between.
This is going to be the best.
This podcast could easily be 40 minutes or 3 hours.
Yeah, and we are probably before we end probably going to go through the list of the all of the whole ballot, the whole election ballot, and we're going to go through all the issues and talk about each one and talk about which way we're voting, and then we're going to go through each person, each what do you call it? Category, each candidate and what they're running for, and a little background on them.
I feel like it's a little late for that. I feel like maybe we should have did that before the election.
Yeah, well, but we could still do it.
We just talk about the people that won. We can talk about the people who won.
We're gonna do none of that.
No,
we won't.
Absolutely zero of that will be done No, I don't think there will be a single political thing that comes up.
No, I don't think so. But anyway, we are going to talk about all that stuff you mentioned. And
I did get my little vote sticker though. It's my
Did
favorite
you?
part. I love getting the little vote sticker.
did you go to the poll and vote in person?
I always go to the poll and vote. No, I
feel
take that back.
Oh.
2 years ago.
They probably nobody did, right? Or they probably did masks.
You
and-
still could with the mask, but we did a mail-in ballot, but I did not mail my ballot in. I drove to
Hmm.
the Board of Elections, which is in Norwood, right off Montgomery Road. I pass it up on the way to one of my customers, so I see it all the time. I drove to the Board of Elections and dropped it off at the Board of Elections.
I gotcha.
I don't trust the mail.
That's yeah. Well, yeah.
I've had no. I don't say that like a what do you call them? Like a conspiracy theorist or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, seriously, like I've had things that were supposed to come to me and usually takes 1 day in between, and then I get it, and it's 3 weeks later, it's half crumbled up, or 6 weeks. Someone's longer than that. I had one thing took like almost 3 months. It was a check for me to get this to my expense check. It took like 3 months. I ended up calling them, telling them, you got to cancel this thing and just give me a new one because something happened.
The first mask I bought online when the pandemic started,
Yeah.
I'm sure I told it on this, was an NBA logo mask. And it took like 5 months or 6 months or something to get there to the post office.
COVID was over by the time you got it.
Got here last week.
Do you still wear a mask to practice?
I don't.
Yeah.
To be honest, probably should have the last 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
Had myself a little cold, but I'll tell you what, the fastest I've ever gotten over a cold in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. And I'll tell you, I don't know for sure, but, and some people might hate this, but I just got a flu shot and a COVID booster right before I got it.
Did you? So
I
you
mean,
think that helped?
I
You think it helps you knock it out
could have.
quicker? You think it could help? I didn't know that the flu and the COVID shot worked for the common cold.
I don't know for sure either, but I'll tell you, when I got my COVID shots, my original ones, I get sick all the time.
How many boosters have you had?
That's only the second one. I had the first booster when it first came out
Yeah.
a year ago, and then I just got, like, last week, I got the other one. So I think I missed one in there somewhere.
I don't know. How does it work? Are they good for a year, 6 months,
I
3
don't know.
months?
Yeah, I think 6 maybe or something like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, who knows? Really don't know. But
That's the real question. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into that. I'm totally kidding about that.
So speaking of the candidates that have run on the
Yeah,
platform
exactly,
of
of
COVID,
COVID.
masks,
So when you got your original shots, you felt you got a little sick then too?
No.
And beat it or no?
I was gonna say I got, like, I didn't get sick for a really long time after that, and I'm always sick.
Yeah, you are.
And so, especially like in the wintertime.
But you know what you did? You know what you did? You put something foreign in your body, is what you did. And it helped you boost your immune system.
I think.
It's exactly what it did. That's
Yeah.
why I put foreign things in my body all the time.
Okay. We need to get out
Phrasing.
X-rays or anything.
Maybe phrasing. Maybe I should phrase that a little better.
How many
Not-
trips to the emergency room have you?
as
How many
for-
related trips to the emergency room have you had?
Speaking of that, we watched Ari Shaffir.
Yeah, we'll talk about that more later.
Ari Shaffir's special Jew, which was, I won't even know. We'll just wait until it's that time. You're gonna have to wait if you want to know how the YouTube newest YouTube special for Ari Shaffir just came out a week ago. You want to know how that was? End of this podcast, we'll review it.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's start off. Here we go. We've done for Reese's. We'll start Reese's off here. I'll tell you, we're running out of, I didn't think it was going to happen, but a lot of the regulars, we're about done with the regulars.
Yeah.
On Reese's, because now you go into a store sometimes and I can't always find something that we haven't tried yet. Luckily today, one thing that I can't believe we haven't done yet, one of the most popular Reese's items out there, the mini cup. We've done the mini cup. I don't know what they called it, but it was I said it was way too much
Nice.
chocolate and almost no peanut butter.
Mhm.
But this is the regular mini that's been out forever, usually wrapped in foil. You know, that's been there forever. And then this, oh boy, this is falling apart.
I
on
gotta
me here,
tell you,
bro.
this
Terribly
is
wrapped.
smaller than that one. This
What?
is smaller
No,
than that.
you did it. It was a bag of minis, and they were mini. It was a bag, and they were like
I
that.
know.
They were like that big.
I know. Those were smaller than this.
Yeah.
This is smaller than those ones that are wrapped in the tin foil.
No way.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. This is a little small, little bit, tiny bit smaller.
I disagree.
Is this one of those deals that like
the count took the bite out of it, like the old
Yeah.
commercials? He's got a hole in the top.
I got a hole in
It's
the
probably
top?
just a little fentanyl in there.
And
You'll be all
yeah,
right.
I was gonna say, is this one of those things that they warn you about? Don't eat, don't eat unwrapped or odd looking candy.
Was it unwrapped? It was sealed,
Probably.
right? Do you feel
It
like it was fully sealed?
It was sealed, but look, I could stick a syringe and you wouldn't even notice. A little
Yeah.
pinhole.
Yeah, you're probably right. All right. Well,
All
I'm
right.
losing half the chocolate on mine, so I'm gonna throw this bad boy in real quick.
Yeah, move hill.
I'll keep 911 on speed dial for you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try to get through this podcast before I die. But anyway, man,
First impressions.
that was so quick.
That was my first impression too. And she's gone.
Mm-hmm. You know, it felt like somebody put a drop from an eyedropper of Reese's flavor on my tongue, but which is why I think a tiny bit smaller. But
Mhm.
I mean, good. You know, it does taste just like the mini. I mean, not the mini, but the the mini.
Right. I mean the miniature. So, yeah. I'm gonna go. I'll go. I'm gonna go 9.4. It's just too small.
Totally agree. I'm going.
It's still a 9 though. I mean, it's still the classic delicious Reese's taste.
It's the best candy in the world. I'm gonna match it with a 9.4.
I like it. 9.4s around.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see. I wrote down my Ari Shaffir. I'm keeping my stuff over here. I'm excited to see what you gave Ari Shaffir today. I'm super excited about it.
Yeah. I wrote mine down right when you told me you were writing yours down. I wrote mine down.
Did you? Okay, so we'll get into Ari Shaffir later on after we go into Major League Baseball. But we'll wait. I gotta wait, man.
I'm already second guessing my rating.
Are you?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't feel like I'm second guessing my rating. I feel pretty confident with this.
Okay.
If anything, maybe a point or two low. Anyway, let's get into Major League Baseball here. Congratulations, Dusty Baker. The longest, the most games coached, managed in Major League Baseball history without winning a World Series.
That's right.
And if anybody watched the World Series, the final game, and got to watch Dusty Baker on the stand, did you see it? Did you see Dusty? Did you watch the last game?
I didn't get to see the last game. I missed it. I'm very ashamed of myself.
Dusty Baker on the podium might have been my favorite thing I've ever seen.
I think I saw a short clip. Did he cry?
He got a little, there might have been like started to, but boy, he was just happy. Like just happy. Like it was pure joy. I mean, he's 70 something years old, 73 years old, and he was jumping around that stage and smiling like a 20-year-old.
I love that.
They said, when did it sink in for you? Or they said, has it sank in yet? Is what they asked him up there. And he said, when Jordan hit that ball over the moon, it started to sink in. And I was like, I love that.
I like that phrasing. Yeah.
It was so awesome. He was getting jumped. A lot of people just were standing all around him and immediately just jumped on top of him. Did you see the thing? Did Joe, one of the fans of the podcast, Joe Leonard, did he send the tweet to both of us about Dusty, or maybe it was me and my dad?
I think it was you and your dad.
There's a video from a different angle, not the same angle that was on TV, from a different angle that's just on Dusty from behind him. All these people are standing around him because obviously they know like he's about to win the World Series, and everybody, is talking about doing it for Dusty.
Mm-hmm.
Ball's hit in the air to right field, foul out in foul territory. And as it's in the air, he looks, sees that it's going to be in play, and the guy's camped under it, reaches for his pencil to write the last out of the World Series before he ever started. And then as he's writing, the guy catches it. His head's down, never saw the catch. And everybody jumps on him. He's filling out his scorecard as he's ending.
I love that. That's
so cool.
That's a really interesting thing. I wonder, number one, does every manager keep a scorecard?
I don't know. I mean, a lot of guys you'll see them. I don't believe so, because a lot of guys you see, Terry Francona is always putting like 57 pieces of bubble gum in his mouth down on the far end when he's getting irritated. And I think even maybe Dusty might even do. You see Dusty up on the step a lot too, but maybe there's just certain times. Maybe if they're on defense that he doesn't do that side. Maybe somebody else does that. And I don't know. But he's looks out, sees it. He reaches for his pencil and gets ready to start writing. And everybody jumps on. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Did he wear his gloves the entire celebration?
Yep. Had black gloves. I mean, I'm pretty sure he wears them to bed.
Seems like it. I haven't seen him without them in a long time. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I love that for Dusty. I mean, I like, some of the players on the Astros and everything. And I'm fine with the Astros winning, but it means the most to me that Dusty won. For
absolutely. Sure. I think most people feel that way. Yordan Alvarez, that guy,
what a hitter.
He mashes the ball, dude.
Man.
And then the rookie that won the MVP, oh boy. Pena? What's his first name?
Oh, shortstop?
Yeah, Pena.
Hey, yeah.
Starts with a J.
I know.
Julio.
Maybe.
Something like that. Anyway. Unbelievable. Guy just straight raked. He had like 400 or something. I mean, he was just raking. He was on base when Alvarez hit that 3-run bomb. So
there you go. So congratulations to the Astros World Series winners. Congratulations to Dusty Baker for getting his was that his third trip to the World Series?
He went with San Francisco. Mm-hmm. He went with he was the Bartman. He was the coach for the Bartman game in Chicago, right?
Yeah, well, they didn't go to the World Series that year, did they? Or did they? I don't think they went to. No, because that was the East. That was the Eastern Conference Finals.
It was the Eastern Conference Finals.
That was the
NLCS.
That was the National League Championship Series. Yeah, because the Marlins, right?
Marlins. I couldn't tell you. I don't know who else would he have went with. San Francisco.
Did he go with Chicago and lose one year though?
I don't. I mean, I don't think so.
Did they lose that year the Indians won it a few years ago? I can't remember. Anyway,
he's coached a lot of teams.
What about Houston last year? Didn't they lose in the World Series last year? Boy, oh boy, my memory's really good.
They did lose to the Braves. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm terrible at that.
Me too. Gosh,
I'd say the older I get, I used to know everything about every sport that ever happened all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And like I've been alive now I'm in my 40th year of living. That's 40 years of trying to remember each sport and who was in. There used to be this guy that actually it's my cousin's husband. First coming around the family. This is 10 years ago. And maybe it's actually longer than that. It's been way longer than that. 13, 14 years ago. Anyway, he's coming around and he's like, I can name every single team in order that's won a Super Bowl. And it's at like 40 something at that point. And I was like, okay. I pulled it up on my phone, rattled them off. I was like, okay, that's pretty impressive. I would like to do that now. 10 years later, he's got 3 or 4 kids. Like, do you still, can you go from that point? I can't tell you the last 4 in order, but I can't get, how's it gone since you had kids? One of them is a huge AAU basketball player. She plays basketball everywhere, all over. She's in high school. And so it's all he does now. Like that's where they follow this girl all around. So come on. I bet he can't do it anymore. I'm going to have to ask him.
Yeah. I had for a while, I had a magnet on my refrigerator that was part of I think it was like a realtor's card or something, and how they attach it to like a sports schedule or something like that.
Yeah.
There was something, I think it had a schedule on one side, maybe a red schedule on the other. On the back of it though, it had every World Series winner. And
Really?
yeah, or at least since like 1950 or 1960 or something like that.
Mhm.
And for a while, I knew like 25 straight years, the winner of like 25 straight years of the World Series. I don't think I can go back to that now.
That's impressive. I got nothing on that.
I think it was like I think I'd had like the mid or late 80s through like the mid or late 2000s or something like that.
Well done.
But I'm not sure I could do that anymore.
I
Certain
mean, I used to
years,
know stats. I used to know like
Mhm.
old guy stats, like before I was ever even born, like back
Mhm.
in the 60s and 70s and stuff. Like
Stan Musial hit 361 in 1971, and
seriously, I used to be able to do stuff like that. It just doesn't. I don't think it means as much to me anymore.
I get that. I totally get it. I don't spend the same amount of time watching games. I'll put a game on and look at my phone or go.
The phone,
do
I'm
something
telling you,
else.
the phone. I mean, I see highlights of everything,
Mhm.
but I don't always know who's winning or what's going on. And now there's so many stats that you just can get overwhelmed and lost in. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And there are way more games that are accessible. I mean, there are more
Yeah.
games televised and on streaming platforms, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm with you. It's just, you also get other interests, and you have a family, and you just get busy with other stuff in your life too.
Absolutely.
Where we still love sports. We're still big sports fans.
Yeah,
But
I still pay attention to all of the things, and but just not as like remembering stuff. Like we do this podcast. We talk about things as they happen all the time
Mhm.
in sports.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when those things are over, dude, I couldn't tell you the guy. I don't remember. We've talked about this same guy who hit batters and piss you off like crazy, and the guy would be so annoying. And we talked about the same guy like 3 times for hitting batters, and I couldn't tell you who his name was.
Neither could I.
There you go.
I don't know. Anyway, okay. So congratulations to the Astros and to Dusty. I think we're moving on. Moving on to.
We just made a great case on this podcast on why we have a sports podcast.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if anybody
I don't
wanted
really
to
watch sports anymore.
we don't do a ton of sports anymore on the podcast anyway. We go through a couple big points of sports and then we get out of it, right? Congratulations, Dusty. Yeah. Astros won the World Series. Loved Dusty when he was here with the Reds. He's just a great guy. His players all love him. You never hear a bad thing about Dusty. He takes teams to the playoffs consistently everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
Took the Reds to the playoffs for a couple straight years because
the last time the Reds were good.
But yeah. Mm-hmm. So there you go. All right. You got anything else you want to go over baseball?
No, I think we go on to NFL picks.
I think we do NFL picks too. Let's do NFL picks. Adam, let us know last week, how did we first off, let's go back over where did we stand after last week on our picks? We pick 3 games every week, Wednesday night against the spread. We use ESPN app just because it's what we have on Wednesday before the games. How did we stand going into this week?
So week 8, which was 2 weeks ago, after that, that was where I went 0-3. You went 3-0.
Oh yeah, that was a big one. Yeah.
Yes, we got that spread real big. So I was 7-14 on the year, and you were 11-10.
You're 7-14.
Yeah.
At least I got myself back up above. I'm making money right now.
That's
11 wins, 10 losses. I'm making money.
So, and you know what? As a matter of fact, I think week 7, So week 7, I was 3-0.
Mm-hmm.
Week 8, I was 0-3.
Did you go back to 3-0?
Week 9, I was 3-0.
Nice work, brother.
Thank you.
How did I do?
Eek. My 3-0 means nothing because you went 3-0.
Let's go, baby. That's what I needed. Yes. Yeah. All right. I needed that. Man, there was 2 of them that I was not happy with. Like, I was like, oh, I feel I shouldn't have picked that.
You got them.
Did I pick the Jets game in this?
No, I did.
You did. So I picked the Jets in our 3-man that we do with every Sunday with another, with actually has real money on the line. I do I picked the Jets, and when I picked it, I was like, well, this could go one of two ways. And then they win the game. Even better.
Yep.
Even better. All
Yeah.
right.
So congrats to you on
And to you.
keeping that. Thank you. But you kept the same. You still have a 4-game win, 4-game lead, I should say. I'm 10-14 now. You're 14-10. You are 14-10.
Let's go. Come on now.
Let's go to week 10.
We're hotter than a firecracker. Let's keep it rolling.
That's right.
What do you got for week 10 there, big boy?
Week 10, I'll tell you, I've got this Browns-Dolphins game. It's in Miami, and the Dolphins are 3.5-point favorite.
Oh,
I'm going to go ahead and take the Dolphins.
yeah. I don't blame you there.
Yeah.
I don't blame you at all.
Yep.
Although Jacoby Brissett is starting to get into a little rhythm. Nick Chubb's still running all over the place. The Dolphins put up points.
Yep. So then we go to New York for the Giants and the Houston Astros, Texans. Houston Texans are at the Giants, and the Giants are a 5-point favorite at home. I'm going to go ahead and take the Giants. And then Washington.
That's 2 weeks in a row you've taken the Giants. If I'm not mistaken, you took the Giants last week because I didn't think that was a good pick because they had just lost their best defender.
I took the Jets last week. I didn't. I took the Giants the week before.
Oh, it's 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and I got that one wrong. So going back to the well and going go ahead and take those Giants again.
There you go.
And then we'll go to Philadelphia, where the 8-0 Eagles are an 11-point favorite against Washington. And there's no doubt in my mind the Eagles win that game, but I'm taking Washington for the with the 11 points.
All right, so here's my question for you. Everybody's talking about Josh Allen right now. Okay, Josh Allen tweaks his UCL, I believe is what it's called.
Yeah, it's on my fantasy team.
Throwing. Have they said anything about whether this dude, what's going on with his throwing arm? Because that's a 3.5-point game. But if Josh Allen, he's questionable right now. I'm half tempted to take Kirk Cousins and the hotter than a firecracker Minnesota Vikings on the road against these Bills with 3.5 points. And if they end up pulling him or he doesn't start, then I feel like it's almost a guaranteed win.
Gosh bless you, by the way.
Thank you. I am going to go with what does it say?
It says, we'll see.
Does it literally say we'll see?
Yeah.
That sounds right. I'm going to take the Vikings plus 3.5. I at least get 3.5 with it if the Bills win and they play. I mean, the Vikings are playing really good, and Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback, and he has been playing very good. Did you see him on the team playing?
Yeah.
How about Kirk Cousins, man? I want to be Kirk Cousins. I wish I was Kirk Cousins. That dude signed a huge contract as at that point in time was a mediocre quarterback, sat back, bet on himself, same old deal, signed a huge contract, goes to the Vikings, has been consistent, puts up good numbers, has a really good team around him, and goes onto the team playing after being 7-1. Got the drip. He's got all the chains on. I'm pretty sure everybody on the team gave him their chain, and he had all of them on with no shirt on. Looking good, man. Looking good, Kirk.
That's kind of a funny idea.
All right, I'm going to take Minnesota. Let's see, and let's just scroll down here. There's not a lot of fun, easy, not a lot of games to have some look at here. Jags and Chiefs. Chiefs see this 9.5 points that the Chiefs are getting at home. That's a game where it seems like I feel like the Chiefs could kind of haphazard play that thing and end up being way too close. But I'm not even looking at it. Rams are 1.5 point favorites over the Cardinals. They've sucked, so it'd be nice for them to come out and get a win. But two inconsistent teams, Chargers and Niners. Niners are laying 7 points at home against the Chargers. The Niners are so good. 7 points. Oof, that's a lot.
You're thinking about it.
I am. That's a possibility. And unfortunately for everybody that has to listen to this, I don't look at anything beforehand. I just kind of run through this, see what's going on in the dome, and go from there. Monday Night Football, the Eagles, 11 points over the Commanders. Okay.
Doesn't look at anything ahead of time and is 14-10 with a 4-game lead.
Hey, you know what I mean? You got to do what you got to do. You just got, I mean, I know enough about these guys and I watch enough to take some looks and some ganders and you go with your gut. You know what I mean? Sometimes the gut is the best. How about Seattle and Tampa Bay? This is the game. Seattle and Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay laying 3 at home. I'm going to go with the road underdog. I'm taking Seattle in this game. I am loving what Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks have been doing. Last but not least, my friend, we have a new coach. Nope, I'm not going with the Indianapolis Colts. Although, congratulations, Jeff Saturday.
Yeah.
Never coached anything in his entire life.
That's
does
surprising.
a heck of a job with the what do you call that? The teleprompter on ESPN. He's a great teleprompter worker. So maybe they just needed somebody that could work a teleprompter. I don't know.
Yeah, the teleprompter is what tells you what to say.
Oh, is that what that is?
You mean like this, the
thing you put your finger on it, you circle it, John Madden. You just go boom.
Telestrator, maybe?
Telestrator? Telestrator sounds like that could be it. It's like an illustrator, but it's with a vision.
Yeah, something like that.
Or telephone. I don't know.
Yeah, Jeff said, I mean, that's going to be this is for the fans kind of deal.
Yeah.
That higher.
Packers Cowboys. Yeah, I feel like that's a 4.5 points at home.
Packers Cowboys. I looked at that one too.
Man, that's a game I'd love to go after. The Packers have just been struggling, but that's a kind of game that Aaron Rodgers comes out and he's like, something special happens and they come out and they beat the Cowboys. I could see that happening.
They don't even have to beat them.
No.
They just have to.
No, I got my next game. I'm going to take the New Orleans Saints over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Saints are getting 1.5. I'd rather see Andy Dalton out there than whatever the Steelers throw out. And Saints defense is halfway decent. So I'm gonna take the Saints over the Steelers.
Gotcha. All right. That does it.
+1.5.
That does it. Did you want to go over the finalists for the MLB awards, or do you want to go on to Mount Rushmore?
What do you want to do, Adam?
I mean, we could do a real fast, probably, right?
All right.
Maybe we'll go real fast. Rookie of the Year, American League. You have Steven Kwan, Julio Rodriguez, and Adley Rutschman.
That's a runaway Julio Rodriguez.
Okay. I won't argue with that. How about American League Manager of the Year? You got Terry Francona in Cleveland. You have Scott Service in Seattle, and you have Brandon Hyde in Baltimore, who finally had a winning season.
Those are all great guys. I wouldn't go with Baltimore. I would probably either lean towards Francona in Cleveland because that team, as far as I'm concerned, wasn't supposed to be very good at all.
They surprised me.
And then who was the other one?
Scott Service in Seattle.
Oh, the Seattle. Yeah, I mean that's the youngest team in baseball, and he did something with it. And it's Scott. I'm going to go Scott Service.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be between those two as well.
Tito, I love Tito, but
love Tito. Cy Young, American League Cy Young. You have Dylan Cease with the White Sox. You have Alek Manoah for the Blue Jays, and you have Justin Verlander with Houston.
Just going by stats and just what little I know about everything on that side. I don't know a lot about this except for the fact that Justin Verlander was probably the best pitcher in all of baseball.
Mm-hmm.
So I do know that. So I'm going to go with Justin Verlander.
All right. Then sticking with the Astros for MVP, Yordan Alvarez is a finalist. So is Aaron Judge, and so is Shohei Ohtani.
To me, this is between Judge and Ohtani. You've got the guy who took a team into the playoffs and for points in time rode his back. I mean, he almost won the Triple Crown this year. And then you have a guy who literally throws for you every 5 days and is the best hitter on your team, second best hitter maybe. I got to go with Judge. Break the record, do everything he did. I think Judge actually wins this.
So do I.
I also believe that Shohei Ohtani is the most valuable player in all of baseball.
I also agree with that.
But Judge will win this.
I totally agree.
If that makes sense in any way, shape, or form, that's like the whole Michael Jordan thing back in the day. Like, all right, Jay, all right, we got to give it to somebody. Michael Jordan is obviously the most valuable player. It's LeBron. LeBron went to 9 straight World Series.
Yeah, he did.
LeBron's never been to a World Series.
He's one of the best pitchers to ever live.
LeBron went to 9 straight finals. Like, he's obviously, and a lot of them were with terrible teams. He's obviously the most valuable player in the NBA, but somebody had a good season. Let's give it to this guy. That whole Jordan LeBron thing, that's gonna end up happening with Shohei Ohtani because he is without a doubt the most valuable player in all of baseball.
I agree with you. Everybody, people have always talked about where LeBron was an all-state football player when he was in high school.
Yeah.
People talk about he could probably play in the NFL, and most people say tight end, right?
Yeah.
Maybe defensive end or something like that.
Wide receiver. I mean, he'd be a big T.O. looking kind of wide receiver. I mean, T.O.'s 6'6", 6'7", isn't he? And LeBron's 6'8".
Yeah.
Maybe T.O.'s maybe not that tall. It seems like he is. I don't know.
If LeBron was a baseball player, is my question.
Oh.
Would you like him pitcher? Would you like him as a first
he's
baseman?
In the outfield. He's fast. He's got some wheels. He'd be in the outfield for me. He's got a strong arm. He
definitely a corner outfield spot.
Yes. Yeah, I would say corner outfield, left or right, probably, because he's going to end up being a power hitter. I'd put him in a corner outfield spot.
So you wouldn't put him at first or third?
No, that's a waste of speed. I would say he could even be more like a Judge, where I feel like he's going to be one of the faster guys out there. I mean, if you're fast enough to possibly be a good wide receiver, then you're fast enough to go play in center fields for anybody.
Yeah.
So you put him in center? I'd put him in the outfield. I don't know where.
I got you. All right. National League Rookie of the Year. You have Brendan Donovan, St. Louis, utility guy.
Also probably would be he'd be a intimidating pitcher.
Yes, he would. Yes, he would. I was almost just taking that away just because, you'd probably put him at pitcher. Michael Harris and Spencer Strider are your choices for National League Rookie of the Year. I like this Spencer Strider kid, watching him in the playoffs. He had a really good year, and so are these other two guys. I don't know. This is kind of a toss-up for me, but
I don't like that. I'm good with that.
Yeah. Manager of the Year, National League. You have Dave Roberts in L.A. You have Buck Showalter.
How's Dave Roberts in there?
Because they were the best team in baseball.
Like that. So they've got the highest. I mean, they've bought their entire team. They're the Yankees of old. How does that manager?
That is totally unfair to him because he could very well be the best manager.
We'll never know.
We won't know
because his roster is ridiculous. Yeah. So I don't know what he's doing.
They did deal with some.
You hear all the time, a manager could win you 5 to 10 games in a year, but he could lose you 30.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, they dealt with some injuries on the pitching staff. And he had to plug some different guys in and juggle some stuff around.
You say the same thing for the Braves then in that case too. I mean, whoever the Braves, I don't even know who the Braves manager is anymore.
It's Brian Snitker, and he is one of the.
I mean, it's the same way. You say because he had to juggle a lot of pieces around when there was injuries and stuff.
Yeah, they were young. So it's Dave Roberts, Buck Showalter, or Brian Snitker.
Buck Showalter.
Okay. Cy Young. You have Sandy Alcantara.
Alcantara had an amazing year this year.
Yeah. Max Fried, Braves.
Yeah, Braves.
And then Julio Urias, right?
Urias.
Urias. Julio U.
Yeah.
Julio University. He was really good.
He was, and I remember watching him pitch in the playoffs, and he got beat, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go. I'm not going to go with Urias or Fried. I'm going to go with who was my other one?
Alcantara.
I love watching that guy pitch.
Yeah. Yep. All right. And then this one's kind of fun. MVP. It's between two people, but you have the teammates Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt, and then you have Manny Machado.
How long I'd love to know how long Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado have been in the top. I feel like they're in the top 3 in the National League in MVP every single year. Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado are 2 of the most consistent players, maybe in Major League Baseball history.
Yeah.
Almost got an NBA in there. God.
LeBron's playing in the World Series.
LeBron's in the World Series. Goldschmidt's in the NBA. What are you doing?
Look, we do this podcast late at night.
It is late
We're
at
both
night.
fried.
We're both fried. It's been a long day.
Yep.
We both. Oh my gosh.
We go to work, then we coach, then we come here. It is. It's a lot. Who do you like between the 3 of them?
I don't know. I love Nolan Arenado. I love Paul Goldschmidt. I hate the St. Louis Cardinals.
Okay.
Just think I was going to say Manny Machado. I actually like Manny Machado.
I was like, that's big time hate
when
for a
Manny
guy.
made the move over to San Diego. That was a big one, right? He took a lot of money to go to a bad team, and everybody gave him all kinds of crap. You'll never win a World Series. You just took the money. You didn't do it about winning. And look at this Padres team now; they are good. You got Blake Snell on a mound. They went after Juan Soto. Will they sign Juan Soto? I mean, I doubt it. He's going to make a lot of money, but maybe. But then they sign a huge contract to Fernando Tatis Jr. Mm-hmm. If they get Juan Soto, let's just say they do that, they may have the best young 3 players in all of baseball. Manny Machado is getting a little older. I get that, but I think he's still only like 26.
Yeah.
And Soto's like 22 or 23. Mm-hmm. Tatis is the same. Like, you lock 3 guys like that up, plus a Blake Snell, who's only like 26, 27.
And Yu Darvish.
That team is good.
Yeah.
And you don't even think, how many times did I talk about the Padres this year on this podcast, and I couldn't remember Manny Machado's name?
Yeah.
He's the most popular guy on that team 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Now they've got Soto. They've got Snell. They've got Yu Darvish. They've got Tatis Jr. And Manny Machado is just sitting back making his money like, I don't have to do as much as you know what I mean? I've got people protecting me all around this lineup. Anyway, Paul Goldschmidt.
That's my pick too.
Make a long story short.
Nolan Arenado might be my favorite player in all of baseball.
Yeah, I know. You talk about him all the time. What has he got? 15 straight?
Something like that.
How long has he been in the league? He's
every year he's been in the
league. For however long he's been in the league, I'm pretty sure he's won a Gold Glove at third base all of those years.
And Goldschmidt's got Gold Gloves, and he had statistically, at least offensively, he had the best year of these 3 guys. But they all 3 had great years. All these guys deserve whatever they win, and that's it.
That, my friend, is it. That brings us to our next segment.
Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore. God, what a terrible Mount Rushmore this was. This might have been one of the worst. I put this in the top 10 of terrible Mount Rushmores.
Here's what I'm doing for the first time. I'm going Mount Rushmore off the top of the dome.
Oh, this is so great. Hold on a second here. I had a website pulled up. I want to pull this bad boy back up.
Yep.
See if I can still find it.
Streamingservices.com.
I put in top 10 streaming platforms.
All right.
And there was something popped up here. Let me get back to it. 10 best U.S. streaming services.
I wonder if they're going to qualify, but they do to me.
Okay. All right, Adam Schmidt. I've got 3 written down. I've got to come up with a 4th.
Okay.
But I'm going to let you start us off.
You sure?
Oh, off the dome? You are definitely going first.
Number 1, I'm going YouTube.
I love it. Yes, 100%.
That's my absolute number 1.
Okay.
Next, I'm going to go Netflix.
Okay.
I'm going to go Netflix.
That's an easy one. Yeah.
A lot of good stuff on there. Then I'm going to go, I'm going ESPN Plus.
I don't use ESPN Plus. I have it because I bought a fight, but I've never. I don't. Maybe I do use it and I don't know it because I use it on Hulu. So I just click on a game, and I guess because I ordered that through Hulu and it's all packaged together. Maybe I use it and I don't know it.
Yeah, I feel like Hulu would be on a lot of people's, and it's not on mine just because I've never used Hulu.
Sure.
But that package deal where it's ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Disney Plus all together, when that came out, I'm like, I'm not sure I'd use much of those, but that's a great deal for all three of those together. I should do it. I never have because I already had the ESPN Plus. I've hardly used it, but you can get. I watched a Mount St. Joe game on ESPN Plus before.
How
a couple years ago.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So there are some options there. I do not like that you pay a monthly fee for the ESPN Plus app and then you pay the extra money for certain like pay-per-view stuff on there.
Yeah, but I mean,
I don't like it.
I
get you. Make it cheaper or something for subscribers, something like that.
I would be cool with that. Like if you want to just buy the pay-per-view, pay $89. But if you are an ESPN, but that's the thing, they gave me a year of ESPN Plus because
you paid $89 for the
I paid whatever it was for the fight.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. You do have some options there to watch some, like say somebody that plays for McNeese State or something like that. That's probably your only way to find a McNeese State.
I have a question for
you. Yeah.
Where's McNeese State?
It's in McNeese
I feel like
City.
if it's called state,
yeah, it should be the name of a state.
It should be the name of a state. Florida State, Penn State, Oklahoma State,
Cincinnati State.
Yeah, but they don't have any athletics, do they?
Sure they do.
Okay. Okay, so that's one that doesn't work. What other one? What other state things that we know that are actually cities?
Oh, there are a zillion.
Sure, there are, but I can't think of any off the top of my head. Kansas State, that's a state.
That's a state. I mean,
Missouri State.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know Texas State. Never heard of it. Wow.
Texas State is a school.
Okay, well, give me a city state or what did you call it? McNeese.
McNeese State.
I've never even heard of that.
Let's find out.
How do you find out?
Yeah. I'm gonna find out right now. I'll tell you how to find out. Go to google.com and you go McNeese.
Have you ever go-ogled before?
I've go-ogled before.
Have you ever called it go-ogle before?
I don't think so.
That's my new favorite thing. Just so you know, I'm using that all the time now.
I mean, there's two O's.
Just go-ogle it. Oh my God. I'm going to annoy people even more than I already do. Like with my Face Snap or my FaceTime or not FaceTime. What is it? FaceTube or Insta Snap. And yeah, all the things that I try to say silly, I'm definitely going to start calling it go-ogle. Just go-ogle it.
Let's see.
Well, how you doing here?
Lake Charles, Louisiana is where McNeese State's from.
So it's not even a city.
It's in Lake Charles.
No, but McNeese isn't even a city.
No.
So what is a McNeese?
Let me go ogle that one. What is a McNeese?
What is a McNeese?
What is?
I mean, that doesn't even make sense. What's McNeese State? I mean, I can understand if it was a city and they're like, oh, we're proud of our state. We love our state. So we're going to be Cincinnati State. And this is my other question. Is there something that makes somewhere a college or a university?
I'm sure that's some sort of legal thing. It's probably like one of those LLC or
incorporated and stuff like that.
Probably something like that.
All right. So if that's the case, then where do you get the state schools? Then how do you become a state? Is that the same is there a common denominator in college, university, and state? Like maybe. The College of Mount St. Joe, but now it's the University of Mount St. Joe. They actually just changed not that long ago to the University of Mount St. Joe. Mm-hmm. So there has to be something that is significant to make you a university over just a regular old college. Whoever's listening to this, let us know if you know. Hit on the what do you call it? Down at the bottom when you type stuff.
Chat or
comments. That's the word I'm looking for.
Comments.
Yeah.
Ranked as one of the top public universities in the United States and one of the finest regional universities in the South, our university is also recognized as having one of the best returns on investment for tuition and high average starting salaries for its graduates. That didn't answer anything, but that's a nice little thing from Googgle.
Good work, McNeese. Is that like Ronald McDonald's niece? He calls her McNeese, and he's got so much money that
I like that.
McNeese State.
Yeah, that's his McNeese. Speaking of that, I became a McUncle for the
Hey, congratulations!
fifth time.
When did it pop out?
2 days ago.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yep. My
Dude,
sister's second.
So awesome. Congratulations. Jen Schmidt.
Yeah.
No, I do this all the time. So
Hayes.
all right, I'm gonna say that. Okay, so it's Jen Hayes. Jen and Doug. Congratulations. That's so cool. My sister gave her liver. I talked about it on here. We were all trying to kind of maybe possibly, pass a liver on to somebody who needed it. And so my sister does it. So I go to the hospital to go visit her. Okay. And I go in the wrong door because it's Ohio State and there's stuff. It's like 15 different universities. It's just like if you came to you end up at Children's instead of university hospitals. Anyway, so I get in there and I was like, I need to get to this building. And they were like, oh, well, it's connected to here. You just got to go down there. But I need to give you a sticker to go. And I was like, all right, cool. She goes, who are you visiting? And I was like, it's my sister. It's Melinda Witt. And she types it in. She goes, how do you spell that? And I said, WHITT. She goes, would it maybe be under WITT? And I was like, you try it, but that'd be spelled wrong. And I'm sitting there and I go, oh my God.
Yeah.
She's been married for 7 or 8 years, 9 years. I don't know how long.
Yeah.
It goes by the last name. I'm terrible at that. Do you call your sister Jen Hayes or Jen Schmidt?
I always think of her as Jen Schmidt.
I'll always be Jen Schmidt.
I have to correct myself all the time. Yeah.
I mean, it's all of our cousins. There's Melissa and Sam Hodges. They're not Humphreys or Jenkins. Like that'll never happen.
Yeah. I know it. Yeah, but anyway, congratulations.
We just named way too many people on the podcast, man. I'm sorry if everybody's trying to keep
we'll bleep that out.
Bleep it out.
Anyhow, I have YouTube. I have Netflix. I have ESPN Plus.
Oh, we're still doing that.
Yeah, I have fourth. I'm going Amazon Prime.
Whoa, Amazon Prime. Well done.
Thank you. Prime Video is what it's called.
Prime Video. All right. I used to watch HBO Max or HBO through Prime. I purchased HBO through Prime, and about 2 years ago they cut that off. And they're like, nope. If you want HBO, they sent me an email. We're canceling all subscriptions through HBO. If you want HBO, you got to go through HBO Max. Mm-hmm. HBO Max, dude. I love HBO Max.
I've heard good things.
Amazing shows. Righteous Gemstones might be the funniest show I've ever seen in my life. John Goodman and the guy from. You ever seen anything about the Righteous Gemstones?
I've heard of the show. I don't know.
There's 3 super funny people, and you're gonna know exactly who they are as soon as you see them.
Adam Sandler.
Close.
That's Uncut Gems.
Righteous Gemstones. Okay, so I'm going to show you these people, and then you're going to tell me who they are. All right.
I'm very bad at this.
Okay.
I don't know any actors.
That guy right there, he's in all kinds of like sports shows. Let me get a better picture. Here we go. What's that guy's name? Adam something. Adam Devine.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's funny as all get out. And then this dude, this dude. Let's go to cast. That'll probably help. I'm doing this. This is terrible. This is absolutely horrible on the old podcast. But his name is Danny McBride.
Danny McBride.
Funny as all get out. Adam Devine and John Goodman and Edie Patterson. She's super hilarious as well.
Okay. Yeah.
You ever get to watch it? Do it. Netflix is a go-to. Everybody's got Netflix as a go-to. It's too. Everybody's got it.
Mm-hmm.
There's too much good stuff on there. So I like Netflix. I've got Hulu on here because that's what I use for live TV, but I'm taking Hulu off
Okay.
because that's how I stream live TV stuff. So I do the Hulu Live. Just jumped up $75 a month.
YouTube TV is doing the same thing to me.
$75 a month. Not worth it.
Yeah.
Not worth it. Can I just get, I mean, there's got to be a way to just get, I don't know. I mean, my wife, she's got shows that she watches that are still on, regular TV, that aren't on, like she loves not Property Brothers. What's the other one called? I don't know, those Fix It Up shows.
Look, in the words of Phil Castellini, where are you going to go?
Where are you going to go? Yeah, that's exactly right. $75 a month. So I'm taking Hulu off.
Okay.
So I've got HBO Max, Netflix, and then I'm going with YouTube because YouTube's great. And if you're watching this on YouTube, fantastic streaming platform, as well as I've got to go Prime Video. Once you said Prime Video, I was like, oh my God, how did I not have that written down? That's the best one. It might be my favorite one.
I think my 4 are the only 4 I use.
Yeah. Well, though, I mean, I guess I use more because I use Hulu, and we have Disney Plus.
I feel like you guys would use that all the time.
Oh, we do. The girls watch it and the kids watch it all the time. I don't watch it, although it does have Nat Geo stuff on there.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's in 4K. So if you've got a 4K TV, some of that stuff they do on there is unbelievable.
You can see a lion eat a wildebeest.
No joke, for real. It's crazy,
4K.
crazy underwater stuff. Great. So there you go.
Nice.
All right, Adam. We are now on to what is always probably, since we've done it, been our favorite part of the podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
The comedy segment that we did this week was your choice of Ari Shaffir, Jew.
Yeah.
We've done an Ari Shaffir special, correct?
I believe we have, yeah.
I would love to know what we rated that one.
Oh,
because Ari is very like that. We talked about, like, if you like comedy or if you don't like comedy, or if you get offended very easily, there are certain comics that you shouldn't watch. This would be one because he doesn't care. He doesn't care if he's hurting your feelings. He's going to say it and he's going to laugh because it's probably actually funny, whatever stereotype he jokes about.
Yep.
So I got to start off. This is called Jew. This whole thing is about religion.
Yep.
He studied to be a rabbi in Israel and realized religion is one of my favorite things. I love talking religion and what makes sense and doesn't make sense about it. I love talking to people about that stuff. Like super God-fearing people that have all of their rules. And then you just look at them like, did God say to do that? Or did just some random guy who was in charge of the church decide that's what he wanted everyone to start doing? Like I'm not a big, like, not strict, but, by the book, if they said, do this, give this much money, do this, like, I feel like I need something behind that, right? Like, with the God part of it, not the man part of it. Okay. Yeah. This dude's Adam, this is one of the funniest specials I've seen in a long time. I loved this special. I laughed so hard for most of it. I know that you didn't like it, did you? You hated it.
Continue.
I thought this might have been one of the funniest things I've watched in a while. I think I rated it too low. Now that I'm talking about it more, I might have rated it too low.
You can change it.
I had so much fun watching this and laughing at the things he has some saying. I wish I would have wrote some stuff down again, because I was not in a position that I could write while I was watching this. But I'm going to tell you right now, this dude right here, he's made me laugh a lot of times. And I feel like he's a very off color kind of guy. He turns things around so well, though, when he does say off color things like what was it called? A guru or what was it? People that aren't Jewish.
Oh, goy.
Yeah. When he started talking about that in the beginning, I was like, oh boy, he's really getting at it. You people, the way you people talk. And he's like, oh, you don't know. It's goy. Goy. It's everyone that's not a Jew. Love it. And we had a conversation about Orthodox and Hasidic Jews, and so I was wrong. It's the Hasidic. You were right. I thought that Orthodox Jews had the curly Qs, but it's
Hasidic Orthodox, right?
Yeah, and then what are the rest of the Jews called? Just Jews?
Yeah. Unorthodox, Southpaw.
I have a guy that I went to high school with.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law's brother, if that makes sense, who married a Jewish woman into a Jewish family and became Jewish.
Yeah.
When they got married, I have a yarmulke that says we were at the wedding. I got a yarmulke. It says Matt and whatever Sydney. I probably shouldn't say people's names on this, but it is what it is. So I've got it inside it. It's embroidered inside the yarmulke. I love it. It's the coolest thing in the world. And isn't it funny? He says talking about Jew baldness. They all bald and say, just cover it up with a hat.
Yeah,
I love that. It's perfect.
He has got the yarmulke.
Bald spot.
Yarmulke pattern baldness.
Baldness. I love that. I don't have a lot to say. The Sodom and Gomorrah stuff made me laugh. The rainbow at the end when he turned that back around was funny. I could go on for there. It was constant laughter, like hard laughter out of me. I'm going to go ahead and rate this and let you talk about it. Should I say what I wrote down or should I say what I want to give it?
Say what you want to give it.
I want to give it a 4.6. I wrote down 4.3. I wrote down the same as last week. I think I want to give it a 4.6.
You gave it a 4.6.
I was at 4. I wrote down 4.3, but I think I want to change it to 4.6. The more I kept talking about it, the
jump.
more 3 points more. Yeah,
I'll tell you,
dude, I loved it.
Good. I'm glad you loved it. I wrote something down, and then while we were talking a little bit ago, I changed it myself. But I only went up 1 point.
You went up.
Not
you went
a point.
up.
Yes, I went up
Point
1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tenth of a point.
Okay. Tell me what you thought about it. Do you got anything you wrote down? You like to write things down sometimes when you're doing it.
I do, and I should have also done that. I didn't write anything down here.
I'm terrible at remembering things. I literally just watched this 5 hours ago, and I struggle with remembering certain really funny things that I cracked up laughing at.
Yeah. Sure.
A lot of stuff we probably couldn't say on here anyway, though.
Yeah, same for me. All the Adam and Eve stuff in the beginning was really funny.
That was great.
That was
he said the rabbis always told him that that's why men have one less rib than women. And when I was 40 years old, I found out we have the same amount of ribs.
Yeah.
Oh, that doesn't sound as funny coming out of my mouth, but if you heard the entire joke, you would be dying, laughing with the animals. Stop doing that to the animals. Let's make something else. Not in the butt. Everything was about in the butt, but so he made a front butt for you.
Oh man.
Oh, Noah.
The Noah stuff was all good.
Stuff was hilarious.
Yeah. You know what? I've had a hot and cold thing with Ari for a while.
I believe that you would. That's why I thought maybe you wouldn't be on. But this wasn't like some of his other stuff where he gets a little too over the top, and it's like, all right.
I loved that there was a theme to the whole thing, and he stuck with it. He knows a ton about it because he studied it in seminary.
Yeah,
when he was only like 19
Israel.
Or something.
Yeah, in Israel for 2 years.
Yeah. And it was a long time ago, 25, 30 years ago, something like that, when he studied that. But then he said he did go back recently, and
he's not. There's no way he's 50 years old. I was trying to figure all that stuff
50.
out. That dude can't be 50 years old.
I think he is. But
the way he was talking, he was like it was in the mid 80s. I mean, it would make sense.
Yeah. A bunch of his New York friends that I've watched podcasts with and everything joke about how old he actually is. But anyway, so I did think a bunch of that stuff was really funny, and he is 48 years old. The
big nose stuff, Jews being big nose. That's why people ask me if I'm Jewish all the time.
Listen,
I get that all the time.
Yeah, I've gotten that before too. The stereotypes about how Jews look, that guy is
100%.
the stereotype.
Yeah.
Is the
Outside of being 6'2".
Yeah, that's true. He's a tall Jew. So anyway, really funny. It was better than I even thought, and I did like because there was an educational element to it.
100%.
There was if you really pay close attention, you're going to learn a lot of stuff about Judaism.
Yep.
And so I thought that was cool, and he did jokes about made fun of the Jewish religion and all the other religions
All
too.
of them. Yes, exactly. That is one thing. I feel like when we talked about when we did his last special, I believe that was something that was said by one of us was he makes fun of everyone. He doesn't just make fun of one thing and then stop. It's everyone.
Yeah. Yep. So anyway, it was really good. I originally wrote down 4.2 and then I changed it to 4.3.
Oh, I had 4.3 and I moved to 4.6. It was that good. That's how good
it
this
was. Good. This was really
two
good.
in a row. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Comedy specials.
Absolutely. Yep. All right. So that's it. Congratulations, Ari Shaffir. It's on YouTube, so it's free. You don't have to be subscribed to anything.
Nope.
Go watch
right
it
on YouTube. It's just called Jew. You can't miss
it. Yep. Already has. Yesterday when I was watching it, had 2.2 million views.
Yeah.
And he's up there already.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So that about does it. I was thinking about saying something to you about. I'm sure you probably watched Dirty Jobs back in the day.
Yeah.
Mike Rowe was just on Theo Vaughn's podcast, and that was
the greatest voice of all time. Rivals, the two guys that everybody knows how they do it. Darth Vader's voice, what's his name?
Oh, James Earl Jones.
And the other one is the guy who does all the reads for everything that's important.
Oh,
what's his name?
Mike Rowe.
He was God. Well, yeah, but he was God in the movie with Jim Carrey.
Oh, Morgan Freeman.
That's right. His voice rivals
easily
top 5 voice. Absolutely, Mike Rowe.
Yep, 100%. And didn't know this about him until this podcast. He was an opera singer for 8 years.
Really?
He was a singer. Yeah. Before he got into the entertainment.
Dude's like a tenor or bass or something low.
Also, he's all about. He has this big foundation about trying to get people to get into the trades and everything.
Yeah, I did know that because they put it up at the end of that Dirty Job stuff. They put that up there all the time.
Yeah, and that keeps growing. And he was talking about how they even include because they raise money for like scholarships for that stuff for people to go to school for that stuff. And he's like, we've expanded it. He's like, cosmetology. He's like, he was saying that hair braiding. He said, in Georgia, there's a government thing that was put in place that to be able to braid hair, you have to pay like $20,000 to get certified. He's, like Atlanta is like the blackest city in America, and that's where the most hair braiding is done. And he's like, they put a thing in place that you have to pay $20,000 to get certified to braid hair. He's like, you have to spend that much money before you can make any money doing it. That's so insane. So many people have kids and stuff that you're going to be $20,000 in the hole just to braid hair that you're probably already doing all the time anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy. So anyway, he was talking about that and talked about the foundation and everything, but went all the way back to, his grandfather was like one of those guys that he had a 7th grade education. He stopped going to school after 7th grade, could take apart and rebuild anything, could do any kind of construction thing.
Yeah.
Was the most handy guy you can imagine. Could do he was an architect just based on
knowledge,
learning, knowing it
on the job knowledge.
So he said, when he was young, he was close with his grandfather, and he's like, all right, well, I'm going to become his apprentice and I'll learn all this stuff and get into the trades like that.
Yeah.
He said he was not good at it at all. He said he had a hard time with it, had a hard time learning. That's just wasn't up his alley.
Wasn't his thing.
Not his thing. His grandfather even said so. Like he's like, I forget.
You suck at this, boy.
He had some kind of he had some kind of phrase or something. But so he stopped doing that, and he was an opera singer for a while, and he did other jobs. He got into like television work, and he was doing a bunch of he started doing voiceover work pretty early and that kind of thing. But he would like produce shows, and he was a host early on for some like news show or something like that. He said it was terrible. And then he said that's where it started though. They did this news show, and it was always like this real like high end stuff. They would go do reports at fancy country clubs or, like that kind of thing. And he said he went to his boss one day, and he's like, why are we always going to these places? Why don't we go? Oh, by the way, his mom came to him and said, your grandfather's, 90 years old now or something. He's not going to be around that long. It might be cool if he saw you at least do something handy on TV. And,
are you serious?
Yeah. So he's like, oh, okay. So he went to his boss at this news show that he was doing or whatever. And he's like, why don't we go to, some place where somebody's doing something interesting, but, like guys go down and rebuild the inside of the sewer or, whatever. So his boss was like, yeah, nobody's watching this show anyway. Do whatever you want. So he did. That's how the idea for Dirty Jobs started. He found some other like, some person that got dirty at work and did like some blue collar handy work that was hard and that was nasty and that kind of, and he just started doing it over and over and over. And then they created Dirty Jobs, and he wasn't that kind of guy before that.
All kind of dedicated to grandpa,
to his grandfather.
That is so cool, man.
And he said, his grandfather's been dead for 20 years now, or so 25 years now, or something like that. But he did get to see him. He did get to turn on the TV the first couple seasons or something like that and see him doing that show, which was really cool. And then he's like, it's just like it's grown on me since then. Like he's really still just a host, and he just goes to these places and they tell him what to do, and that's what he does. So, but just a really cool story. And he's just like he was funny the whole time. He and Theo were both really witty with each other.
He like his jokes in Dirty Jobs he always has. It always seems pretty quick with that. He's always messing with the weird guy at the job, saying little funny quirks about him. And, well, okay, well, if he's doing it, then I guess that means I'm in.
And he talked about, he's like, we did one of the first reality shows before it became, or maybe one of the last reality shows before reality shows became scripted. Right. He's like, there's no script to anything we do on those shows. That is actually the only, like, we go there and we follow a guy around and they tell me what to do and I do it. And that's really all we do.
Love that.
Yeah. So anyway, that was just really cool. I listened to that earlier today, and Theo was really funny, of course.
Theo Von would have a blast. I feel like if anybody would take that show over, Theo Von would be great at taking that show over.
Yeah. And yeah. And that, Theo has kind of his own unique voice, his own like unique comedy mind. Yeah. And it's kind of like, it might not be for everybody. Like everybody might not totally, because he says just off the wall stuff, but it's always really funny because it's like people don't normally.
The way he mispronounces things on purpose might be my favorite thing in the world.
Yeah, but every little thing he did, every even little subtle, little tiny thing, Mike Rowe laughed at. Like he got it right away. Yeah. It was just a really cool rapport between the two of those guys. Mike Rowe, you can tell, is a really smart guy too. Yeah. So anyway, that was just a cool thing. I haven't thought about Mike Rowe in a long time. He still does tons.
Oh my gosh, Netflix. He's on a million different background voices for a million things on different shows.
Yeah, but
he'll do nature shows. Like he's the background guy for nature stuff. He's anything. If it needs somebody to be a narrator, that's the word I've been trying to figure out since you started talking about Mike Rowe, was the word narrator. He's a narrator, like Discovery or whatever whatever Dirty Job started on.
Yeah, I think it was Discovery.
He like became the narrator for everything on that. On like you turned on, if it was Discovery or History or whatever it was, boom, you turn it on, you heard Mike Rowe's voice.
Yeah. He talked about because he did like he was the narrator for like the first 12 seasons of The Ultimate Fighter. And
Oh, I didn't know he did Ultimate Fighter too. I knew
Yeah.
that because he did Deadliest Catch too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he talked about one day, it was, I don't know, probably mid 2000s or something like that. Long time ago, he knew somebody that he worked with, a producer or something like that. I think it might have been on Discovery or whatever. Or no, I can't remember where it was. But anyway, he walked into this guy's office that he worked with all the time, and he was just finishing up a deal with this guy. And they finished up or whatever, and it was this big bald guy, and the guy got up, and Mike, walked in and said, "Hey, how you doing?" And or he said the guy looked at him and said, "Hey, I really like." He said we were like 1 or 2 seasons into Dirty Jobs, and he said that they finished up or whatever, and that guy looked at me and said, "Hey, I like your show." He said, "Oh, thanks. What do you do?" And he said, "Oh, well," and he told him about this idea for The Ultimate Fighter, I guess, and it was Dana White,
Right.
and so he's like, "Oh, okay, yeah. Well, if that goes through or whatever, I'll do the narration if you want me to." It just kind of just as kind of a nothing thing. He said he did the first 12 seasons.
Oh, that's so cool.
But he said he would walk into this sound booth, the studio that he did his voiceover work, and every week there was like a stack of copy, and he would do a whole bunch of different things. But there was the UFC thing, what they wanted him to do for each show, and he would just record it. He's like, I didn't watch any of them. He's like, I went in there and recorded
read whatever it said,
and
I was out. How crazy is that? You would think that's a funny thing. Like I bet he doesn't watch 90% of the stuff he does.
I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, something maybe like Dirty Jobs, like he's the host and everything. I'm sure he's probably has executive producer credit or whatever. But but I thought it was really interesting. It was just a really cool interview.
Did you see speaking of that, did you see did you watch the end, the credits? Did you watch all the way through the credits of Ari Shaffir?
Yes, I did.
There's some funny stuff in there too. So watch the credits. It's pretty funny.
I didn't. So I was finishing it in the car, like yourself.
Yep.
So I saw like the big
really read it.
Yeah, I saw like the first line or something like that. But
the very end was good. Always ask questions, something, and butt stuff. All right. So, Adam, that means that we get to do
just flip the page back and saw the note fartable umbros from Eliza Schlesinger.
Oh, it's good. Oh, there's some stuff I wish I would have wrote down from Ari Shaffir. That was hilarious too. He had some good quotes. All right. Do you have a Mount Rushmore ready to go?
Not necessarily.
Okay. Oh man. Oh geez, Pete. Did this just pop? Oh. This literally just popped up. All right. Is this brand new?
Yes.
We've got to do this.
Yeah, I was hoping so.
I was gonna do Fortune Feemster because I keep wanting to do this Good Fortune because I thought we had already watched it, but we haven't. I started watching it and we have not done it. It's
brand new.
Yeah, that is brand new.
Yeah.
But I just opened up Netflix and Neil Brennan pops up. And I mean, I love Neil Brennan. Anybody that was as big a part of one of my favorite TV shows to ever come onto TV in the Chappelle Show is great. So this will be the second Neil Brennan that we've done.
Yes.
So this is Neil Brennan, Netflix. It's called Blocks. Neil Brennan, pretty. He's. I feel like it was a good one last time. I don't feel like I was like super excited, stoked about it, but I feel like it was good.
3 Mics, I think it was called.
Yeah.
Yep. I saw that on there. I was like, all right, we're gonna be doing that one sometime.
100%. So Neil Brennan, Blocks is what I'm gonna do there. What kind of ideas do you have for?
Here's what I think we're gonna do. We have done our Mount Rushmore of cars that we've owned.
Yes.
Vehicles that we've owned.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna do the Mount Rushmore of vehicles you'd like to own. Your favorite that you've not owned. Your favorite vehicles that you'd like to own.
This is
Neither one of us are car guys.
I was
really,
just gonna
but
say that neither one of us are. This would be a
there
great.
are
This would be a great Mount Rushmore for your dad and my dad.
absolutely.
They would. Oh
100%.
my God, they'd have a list of 57 cars they could talk
I
about
could do a 10-episode series
on this. 100%, they could definitely do that. Me, I don't know. All right, I'll
I've-
figure something
I'm
out.
telling you, just start go ogling
tweaking
cars,
through,
and
just start.
I know that I have a few that I kind of have in mind that I still need to look up and everything, but just 4 cars that you would like to own.
Okay. Like I don't need a fast, flashy car. I don't want
Not
a fast,
Same.
flashy car. Like I don't
Same.
like. Okay. All right.
I love Cadillacs and Buicks. I love the big
Yeah.
boxy, like the older, especially the older ones, the old boxy big what is it called?
I don't know that anything
not
I have is
comfort,
gonna
but-
be old.
Yeah. I don't think I'm gonna have anything new on there. I don't know.
I would like the Tesla truck, just because it
Tesla
looks
truck.
so crazy. I guess maybe, but
I don't know if I've even seen. I've heard people talk about. I feel like maybe I've seen it.
it's
once,
really
but I
funny.
can't
Go
remember
back and
what
watch
it's like.
Elon Musk when he introduces it, and he takes this giant, like 10-pound lead ball, and he's talking about how the windows are bulletproof or something like that, and he throws it, or shatterproof and bulletproof or something like that, and he throws the ball and it just busts the entire window out,
Wow.
and he's like, "Huh? Well, that wasn't supposed to." Anyway,
That's funny.
there you go. All right, I don't know. All right, this is gonna be interesting. I'm gonna have to do some hardcore research on this.
All right. Next Tuesday, you're out of town, right? No, you're not out of town. You're never out of town. What are you talking about? You're always here.
Next Tuesday?
You're always You're not. You don't go out of town. Anyway, we got to be careful about what we say on this
I'll
thing.
tell you what, man. I'll tell you what. All right.
There it
you go.
is.
That's
Neil
it.
Brennan.
Neil Brennan. You don't want to do anything here. This house has got 15 guns and alarms and cameras and everything else. Ain't nobody
Yeah.
messing
Oh,
with
and 2
this.
horses, by the way.
Just one horse. Well, 2. Well, yes. We do have a horse, though.
Oh yeah, 3 horses.
Do actually have a horse.
That's
So
true.
a
They're all
horse,
the same size.
a horse and 2 large dogs who have become accustomed to you.
Yeah.
Adam walked in and walked all the way into the dining room before the dog even came down the steps to see what was going on.
Mhm.
No jumps.
Yeah.
Lately, been getting maybe a nose poke to the crotch,
Mhm.
but not much
That's
more
a
than that.
guarantee. Yeah. 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 They've really mellowed out when I come in here.
It's awesome.
I
Good.
agree.
I guarantee you agree.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so we've got Mount Rushmore of cars. We've got Neil Brennan Blocks, brand new on Netflix. Might have just came out today or yesterday. I mean, I feel like it probably just came out within the last couple of days.
Yeah.
And I don't know what we're gonna do for sports next week. Maybe we can hook up with an Adam Baum and get a little Xavier stuff. Maybe we can hook up with our
Andre.
Bengals insider Andre Edwards. Either way, hopefully we have some kind of guest for you. And until then, don't forget to turn your headlights on.